Hi there, I'm Morgan O'Brien. I'm from IBM Rational Services, and we're here today to hear another exciting customer story. I've got my colleagues, Daryl Rader. Daryl, you want to say hello?
Good morning. Hi, everyone.
Great. Hi, thanks for joining, Daryl. And then our storyteller for today is Chin Vo. Chin, you want to say hi and
Hi,
introduce
everyone.
yourself?
Hi. So my name is Chin Vo. I'm the chief architect for the IT domain for our Rational Lab Services group.
Okay, great. So thanks for joining, Chin. Well, why don't we jump right in, because we have a short amount of time today, and tell us, what happened? What went on with our customer?
Well, for this particular customer, so I'm going to tell you guys a story of a journey through the DevOps lifecycle. So this customer is in the telecommunications space and the mobile side of things. And as we all know, mobile is one of the big trends in the industry today. And um, really the battle for subscribers is really a fierce competitive market. Now, that hit home to me when my two daughters, both 6 and 9, are already asking me for iPhones. So, we know that they get them early and then they get them late there too. So yeah, in this case here, so the customer themselves identified that one of the key things that they need to do was reduce their time to market. Getting features and promotions out quickly will allow them to actually win the mind shares of the subscribers out there, to retain what they have, and then really to get more new subscribers from the other operators itself. Now, in the DevOps lifecycle, we know we have many entry points that the journey that the customers can adopt, from the steer side of things to develop, deploy, and to the operate side of things. Now, a lot of customers, when we engage and assess which adoption path they really should engage, the initial focus is to deploy, and that's a really key thing because they can see quick return on investment on that side. But for this particular customer, it was unique in that we would focus first on the steering side of things. So here, as with any IT operations that we see in customers, they only have a certain fixed number of budget, but an ever-increasing demand on requests and how they implement it itself. So we were looking at the steer side, so we had to make sure that one, all the demands that are coming in from the business, they had a streamlined way of prioritizing and showing really real return on investment, so that they know what to invest their money on. And then during execution itself, they really need a line of sight on how far the project is progressing, is going to be on time, are they going to hit the promotional date, so that that feature that they're depending on to get new subscribers and businesses actually out there in the marketplace itself. So here, when we were engaged, it was really a two-part thing. So one of them was looking at the practices that are supporting the beginning of the DevOps lifecycle, and then the tools infrastructure to how they actually can support those practices. So here we helped them define what their demand management practice was. Now they had existing practice, obviously, but it was not really, it was more of a socialized practice. And it really turned out from the IT organization that whoever screamed the loudest got in the queue first. And that's really not a good way to prioritize how things should be, where the money should be spent, and if that feature had higher priority. So working with them and some of our worldwide experts who've been in the industry, we sort of established then, what types of KPIs and techniques, from pairwise comparisons to charts and stuff, to really let them know which of those demands they should be prioritizing. So that from there we deployed a rational focal point solution. So that's our demand management solution there that implements those practices, allows them to have a tool to manage that. And this is really key too, because it's great that you have a practice for the IT organization to prioritize, but the screaming still happens. So with the tool, it allows them to then see, actually give them real data back to the business. Yes, you think it's important, but given this corporate-wide new demand management practice, these are the reasons why we need to prioritize these other requests ahead of yours. So it gives IT departments some really ammunition to actually respond back to the business.
So Chen, just a question there. So we know, I mean, culture is a big part of this whole DevOps area. Can you talk about any? I mean, were there any cultural challenges in terms of adoption? I mean, trying to get everybody on the same page.
Oh, there's definitely a lot of cultural issues there. And it's more like any actually transformation project itself. And it really is, if you look at it, it's not just a tools deployment side of things. You're actually changing how people work. And with a culture change, you got to actually think of all the three key things, right? So any change we have to look at the tools that's supporting it. That's great. But at the same time, we're going to change the process. And then we actually have to ensure that the people that are involved in it also have support structure too. So we actually have to touch on all three sides of things. Okay, so then really from that point on there, one of the next sort of steps, and it's still in the steering, so that, once again, we're focused on the steering adoption path. So I mentioned clear line of sight before, and that was one of the things that was important, and really one of the foundation practices of throughout the whole DevOps lifecycle, which may not be highlighted a lot, is the collaboration side of things. So ensuring that the business side is in touch with the development side to the operation side itself. So that really spans through the whole DevOps cycle. So what we did from there is that we implemented our collaborative lifecycle management solution, or our CLM, and that integration with focal point. So as the demand has been approved or the business request has been approved for development, the record is automatically created in rational concert portion of it, and the so then it's tracked through the whole cycle. So then as the key milestones in the project plan are reached, from requirements to development to tests, we implemented the rational insight solution sort of to underlying all of it. So then all the data from demand and project data is recorded up. And we had these dashboard views for the management and the executives. So they'll see, these are the business demand in our pipeline. These are the ones that have been approved and executing. In the execution side, in the development side, they're this far in the actual process itself, and are we on track or not to actually get it done? So that side there, and of course we have to bring in the operation side of things too, and that they have to be involved in it. And for there, we had a solution where the operations is actually standardized on the remedy product. So we built a custom integration with our COM solution, where as soon as the business demand has been approved, a new remedy record is created. And as the project goes through its major milestones, those milestones are updated in the remedy record. So by doing this, operation is completely in the loop from beginning of development to when the project is ready for deployment there. So that ensures that, once again, that collaboration theme and steering is implemented. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that's great. It helps. Sounds like you're breaking down silos, and each of the groups are now working together rather than working in their own little world and not collaborating. So I know that's really important so that the business can function in the way it should.
Yeah, and before I was involved, it was really the, you've seen the Gilbert commercials and the comics. It really was those very siloed things falling over the wall, and good luck with you, and hopefully you get it done, sort of thing. So this really actually showed results. And from the results side of things, we actually had some pretty immediate impact. The customer indicated to me that they actually identified early on projects which they normally would have continued on, spent money and invested on. They will actually stop that before they actually even execute it. So they're saving money right out front there. And for the project they were executing, the medium-sized classification of the project, they usually take between 4 to 6 weeks to finish. And they were able to reduce that by about 25–30% to about 3 to 4 or 5 weeks time frame. So they saw significant improvements right away after we worked with them on this portion of the DevOps lifecycle.
So Chen, it sounds like this is just the first part of their story, right? Sounds like they chose the adoption path. They're going down the steer path. What's their next step before we end this?
Yeah, so next step we're looking at is actually in the deploy adoption side of things. So looking at automation and deployment, and also the testing side of it too. So that's really was going to be the next focus after we finish this phase.
Yeah, well, changing all your processes, implementing new solutions, it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it sounds like this customer has a staggered approach in getting their path in order and being more cohesive and working in a more efficient way, and with cost savings, time savings. It's a win-win, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think it's a great story. I really appreciate your taking the time to share it with us today. I think we better wrap for now. And again, thanks for joining us and telling us about this exciting story.
Right, thank you.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.